Hello everyone, today I'm going to be making one card using the Peekaboo Trellis panels. And this is the Amazing Paper Grace Die of the Month from Spellbinders for August 2022. So here's a look at all of the dies. So these main panels are kind of the show piece of the card. And they are two large cutting dies. So I'll just show you what they look like if you were to kind of compare them to the size of an A2 card. So you could kind of get creative with the placement of these. And let's see, I guess I could measure it out here. They are about 7¼ inches long, and they are about 2¼ inches wide. Now, if you look carefully, you can see that it cuts, but it makes this panel effect. So I'll show you in a minute what these really look like on some paper. But there's this more of a vine and then more of a tropical leaf look. So two different looks. Then we have some large rose dies. Now these are layered dies. So it's the cutout of the background and then the leaves that would go on the flower. Now you could choose to die cut out this rose in two different ways. So I have a little example for you here. Now this is going to be for a different card, not for the card that I am working on today. So if you cut out the purple background with this die, and then you inlay, which means you use both of these together, and then die cut out the pink, you would get this. You would be left with a whole bunch of little pink pieces like this, and that's what you would use if you wanted to just free lay the die, the flowers. So once again, if you want this flower, you would first cut out purple with this, then to get the pink section, you would use both of these dies, and that would give you the pink overlay. Then you would glue them together. Now, if you wanted this, you would use just this one to cut out the purple, and just this one to cut out the pink. And then you would have to glue on the pieces. My personal preference is this style because first, you don't have to rearrange all these little pieces of paper. Second, it is a little less time. So the fuss and the time, we're not. But they're two different looks, so both are fine, but just know what you're getting into. All right, if you have questions about this, let me know in the comments. I hope I made it pretty clear, but you never know. All right. Now we also have the two leaf dies, so same thing as the flowers with the layering. So there's an outside and an inside. Then there's these two little sprigs. One's more of a leafy one, and this is more of a, call it like the four fingers. But it's just a little sprig, basically. Then it comes with one sentiment die that says hugs with a very Spellbinders-y font. All right, so now that we've looked at all of the dies, I will show you what I am going to be making for my card today. I recently have kind of been drawn to black and red. That's been kind of on my mind. I think that it looks really cool together. So that's what this card's kind of based around. Oh, and by the way, this is how the panel turns out. So all I did to make this black piece was take a piece of cardstock, and this was cut to 3 3/4 by, let's see, 5 inches. 5 1/4, I guess. But basically I just cut it down to be layered on my card, so you can use whatever size you want. And then I just laid the die sideways like this, ran it through my machine, and it came out like this. So I'm going to have to be a little careful when I am putting the glue on the edges here, but that's okay. All right, so for this card, I am going to start on my card base with some gold mirrored cardstock. So this is going to make my card front. And to attach it to my card, I'm just using some double-sided adhesive. The double-sided adhesive that I prefer is the Easy Runner Grand. You can probably find it at most craft stores. It's, I think, sold as a scrapbooking tool, but I find it very helpful for cards. Now, I just wanted to mention my circle here. So I have a number of circle punches, and I wanted to have a red circle punch for my sentiment to rest on, and I didn't have any scraps, and I didn't want to cut into a whole nother piece of paper. So I went ahead with my hole puncher, punched out this circle, and when it's on my card, oh, it looks like I forgot to trim this. When it's on my card, you won't even be able to see the missing circle from my punch. So to trim this down, I want it to be 1/4 of an inch going around. So right now it's at 4 1/4, so I'm going to cut it to 4 inches. And then on this side, it needs to, well, right now it's at 5 1/2, so it needs to be 5 1/4. Because this is a standard A2 size card, that's what my dimensions would be to make sure that it has an equal border. Now, did I cut the black one? No. Yes, I did. Perfect. All right, well now all I need to do, I guess, is glue things on. So let's see, I want my heart or my hugs sentiment to be covering up that hole. So I don't want to be able to see the gold right there, just on the edge. So I'm going to put my hole on the top left because this is going to be a landscape card. So I'm actually going to attach these two pieces together first, and then I am going to put it onto the gold. So to do that, I'm going to put some double-sided adhesive on the solid areas for extra security, and for the leafy areas, I'm going to use my liquid glue. I like to use the Barely Art liquid glue and glue down the edges that need a little more support than what a double-sided adhesive tape can offer. All right. Now I will just attach it to my red panel. And I have a feeling that before, the reason why I did not trim my red piece before when I was planning out my card a couple days ago was because I knew that there might be a little bit of a red edge here that I would need to trim anyway, because my black paper was cut on my old paper trimmer, which was not cutting straight for me. So that's probably why, and I just forgot. But I can just grab the paper trimmer again and give the edge a little trim. That is finished. So now I'm going to put this panel onto my card base. So I'm going to use some more double-sided adhesive and put it on my card. I always open up my cards when I am particularly concerned about having a specific part be in a specific area. Because if I were to just pick up my card and put it down, then my sentiment would have to move down to the other corner, and that's not what I have planned. So I kind of open it up, make sure that that's the opening on the bottom, and then I will just eyeball the rest of the area by first putting it in either this corner or flipping my card and arranging it here, seeing that this is a good distance, same with the tops, and then putting their other side down, pressing firmly, and just taking a look. With the gold mirrored cardstock, this double-sided tape is a little more forgiving. If you need to pull it off gently, you're able to, but not after a while. It is very firm on the paper, so just to note. But the most forgiving adhesive is the liquid glue because it allows a little bit of wiggling. So I'll show you here. If I wanted it more here, I would have to just kind of move it and it would just be fine. Plus, liquid glue dries clear, so that's always my friend, because I don't know, sometimes glue, ink, glitter, things in the crafting world just kind of get everywhere, but that's okay. There we go. If you don't have punches to punch out circles, you could certainly use circle dies. I just find that a punch is a little quicker. So even though I have circle dies, I usually just use my punches. But each to their own. And if you've watched any videos on my channel, you know that I love my reverse tweezers. That's what these are, so I can do really anything and not worry about my piece falling at all, and I don't have to sit there holding it, pinching it for dear life. It's good. I could stand up, get a drink of water, and come back, and it's ready for me. I mean, the glue would probably be dry, but that piece is going nowhere. And I probably should have pounced this on, but que sera, sera. Plus, the double-sided tweezers has this little pointy end that is perfect for scraping up any glue that has popped out the side, like so. I think that gold and red really have an elegant look to them, and it kind of reminds me of like the Chinese culture, which I think is really pretty and just beautiful, and who doesn't love black? So there we go. All right, well, I don't think I'm going to add any sparkle to this card because it's kind of reading as a sympathy card, so I am going to leave the gold mirrored cardstock be kind of the blingy look for this card. So I have a couple more videos planned with this die set, so if you're interested, stick around. For the month of August, I will be releasing a lot of videos, so subscribe and check some other ones out later this month. All right, see you in my next one. Bye.